Hello everyone, T-Draguno here, and welcome back to yet another figure review. Today we'll be reviewing a Jada Toys Ultra Street Fighter 2 Sagat. And for first looks, he is a mountain of a character. In fact, he is much bigger than, at least the box. The box is much bigger than the other Street Fighter figures, and I'll actually do a comparison of that right now. Okay, next to Sagat is Ryu. As you can see, this box is massive and completely overtowers Ryu's box. In fact, it overtowers Ryu in general, based off figures as well. Already you can see there's a scaling difference, but this scale is accurate. Sagat is one of the tallest Street Fighter characters in the Street Fighter franchise. And by the looks of it, that stands true here in figure form. But for this video, we're going to focus on Sagat. Of course, you got your standard profile character select logo, same arcade machine look. We got Sagat and information about his country of origin, which is Thailand. For anyone who didn't know, comes from Thailand. Here's the standard. He's so big. This box is so big. Hold on, let's see. Get a full image of him in his standard pose with other characters that can get in the line. Here's another side view. Of course, you got all the legal information at the bottom here. Stuff that nobody really cares about. And a top view of the head. Looking at the box, looks like we got two fighting pose grippy hands to the left. To the right, we got another Sagat head, another teeth gritting face, such as Akuma. If you haven't seen my Akuma review, I did a recent review of him. So check out my YouTube channel for that Akuma video. And looks like there's a stand for the fireball that is on the bottom left side over here. There's a stand right here. And of course, this mountainous character, Sagat. No more time needed. Let's open them up. Jada likes to give us these backgrounds. And this is the background of the main stage where you fight Sagat in Street Fighter 2. So I'm just going to put this back here. Like so. Alright. Let's go over the accessories. Right now you're going to get, with Sagat, these fighting pose hands. To get two of these grippers. Right? I'm doing tiger scratch, tiger claw, tiger. A whole lot of tiger movement. This is probably the most spammable and probably most annoying boss I have ever faced in Street Fighter 2. Extremely annoying. I don't know what was this AI on. It's what's the fastest and easiest way to kill the player? Oh yeah, let's spam a projectile. And if you get close, tiger uppercut. But anyways, we got also a head for Sagat, looking mean and gritty. Angry. For some reason, I don't know why I thought Sagat had an eye patch on the left eye. Because it's clearly on the right eye where it's supposed to be. But for some reason, I thought he had it on the left eye. Strap looks well painted around his head all the way around. Imagine if the eye patch was soft goods. I guess that would be really hard. Especially to keep on top on the head. Unless it was some type of tag system. But it's not really necessary. I'm just overreaching. Yeah, it looks good. Scar on the side of his head. Part of me still kind of thinks, shouldn't Sagat have a scar over his eye patch? Like, oh, and his right eye right here? Shouldn't there be a scar there? I don't know. Next we got the stand with the fireball. And comparing it to Akuma's fireball, it is much smaller. Still has that red, orange, and yellow going on with the middle, the back looking cool. Kind of translucent, solid in the back, very nice, and I'm sure this pegs in just like the other ones, right here, like so, like so. This one definitely was a tighter fit. That means it's just gonna stick on here better. There we are. Let's take a... Okay. This is actually a pretty tall stand, because here we are at the bottom. You got all this to work with. Bend forward, bend back. Same with the top one. Bend forward. And bend back. So all the pulsable needs that you need in the fireball. This tiger. Tiger. Real quick, there's that fireball comparison. You have on the right side here Akuma's, which is much bigger than Sagat's fireball. At the same time, this stand is a lot taller, and this one is a lot shorter. And the best part with these accessories is that you can just blend the two. I mean, this one exclusively doesn't have to be with Sagat. You can just have this one. You can have both of them for Sagat or Akuma. That's the beauty of these accessories. Hopefully somewhere down the line we get a purple one of those fireballs. Now let's look at the monster that is Sagat. Standing pretty darn tall right now. Overall aesthetic and sculpt, so far it looks pretty good. In fact, it seems like, I don't know, is it because he's just showing more skin than Akuma, but it seems like he has just a little bit more shading to help bring out the depth of his muscles. Just a little bit more. Could be because he's only wearing shorts. But yeah, overall detail, really nice there. Got the famous scar that Ryu gave him all the way across his chest. Gave him a pretty bad Shoryuken. I mean, actually, he really deserved it. After that boss with Sagat, he kind of deserved that scar. The shorts have a nice shine to them. Still with a rough texture. Looks like clothing compared to the soft smoothness of the skin. I do like the slight shine that's happening here. And the paint is well applied to all the necessary areas. Perfect boxer shorts. And even the texture of the feeling of his sports tape that is around his arm to his hand feels different than the skin. Also nice. If I can get it close enough, there's actually, you can see a little bit of texture difference as well. All right. Looks great. Looks great. Looks like Sagat. Everything follows through and nothing, no weird paint is going on here. Nothing looks like it's running off. I have to keep bending him down because he's so tall. There's even a bit of scarring on his neck that I really did not know about. It's like right there. Yeah, I never really seen the scar on Sagat. He had a scar on his neck too. Huh, I don't remember that one. But yeah, I'll take it. Yeah. Yeah, really great detail. And I'll even talk about more of that detail with the little veins inside of his arms. Really nice. Go over some of that probably good articulation. Starting with the head, you're going to get full 3D, full 360 rotation. And I believe there's a neck joint in there. At least he can angle his head this way and that way. He's looking up about that much. And he's going to sink his head pretty deep into his chest, about that much. Of course, he's a tall guy, so he has to look down on a lot of people. So this was probably the most necessary figure that you can look, that needs to look down. Okay, let's check those arms. Going forward, a very smooth movement. Both sides, very good. Not too stiff, but firm enough. Nothing feels loose. bicep swivel. Feeling great. Great articulation so far. Let's bend those elbows. All right. That already looks like just a little bit better than 90, but still great enough to pound his own chest like Donkey Kong. Really great muscle detail there. And there should be a bend at the wrist, and he can forward bend that wrist pretty darn well. And he can also bend it this way, about that much. We got rotation. We're going up that much. So far, so great. I like to point out the fact that I don't have to use any type of oils or WD-40 to loosen up anything because it's firm but not too stiff where I feel like I'm going to break it. So far, I haven't had that feeling, and I appreciate that. It's overall a really nice feeling. And I see we got butterfly joints. That goes back. Both go back that far. About that. Very nice. And forward. Seem like let's get a little bit forward. Not too much. But about that much here. And for this arm. For this arm, gonna be crossing. It's a little bit tight considering he is a bigger dude with a bigger torso. So he's gonna be crunching his arms forward about that much. For the arms, they should be able to stretch out, be T-posing. If not, get it a little bit higher. That's about what we're getting. And the arms going up and out. Man, Sagat's a really tall character. I'm curious. I do have a raccoon and a birder from Dragon Ball Z. So I'm wondering if he may not be taller than Birder, but he might stand the test of time with Raccoon, actually. Considering how tall he is. Let's see. I am noticing with the butterfly joints, you can't really go up or down with that. It's just kind of forward and back. No real up or down motion with that. Now, ab crunch. How far can he crunch? Because he doesn't have any fabric or clothing that's in front of him, he can crunch forward actually really darn well. Especially if you give it a little twist. Give a little twist up and then go down. He is crunching his body very well. Which is perfect for if you want to get a Ryu and pose him doing the Shoryuken punch, you can. Goes up. Yeah. It's a pretty nice ab crunch forward. And a little bit of tilting from a joint down here is helping as well. And going back the other way, arching out. As long as I don't snap off any of the body parts. He's going to be arching back that much. Let me just move that head to really get the feel that he's arching. Yeah, so you're going to get this arch with him this much. You're going to get a lot of arch. You can get him in a Dragon Ball flying pose. Which is more than you can say for most Dragon Ball figures. Sagat can pull it off. Now, at this waist part right here, there's a bit of a twist there. A bit of a twist on the other way around. I recommend mostly keeping that in the middle, though. And this part, the upper chest torso, that's a little, it seems like it does a little bit of a twist, but It's mostly useful if you go tilting downward this way, then going back up, and then tilting the other way. So definitely is useful for tilting. Got a lot of tilt action. Alright, that's great. And for a tall guy like him, this is excellent for posing. And Sagat really needs to be flexible, considering the moves that he does do in the game. He's tall, but a pretty flexible dude. Not as flexible as Dawson, but still pretty flexible, considering his size and weight. Now let's move on to that leg articulation, kicking forward. And because there's a soft plastic going on with his shorts and the pant leg, you're going to get this kick here, which may look slightly down, but a little bit of finagling. We're probably going to kick that out there. I'm sure if you just keep on forcing it, you can just still get that foot even higher up there. Especially if I start to do this. A little bit of kicking back. Now this part, his bottom is going to get in the little way. Sagat is a little dummy thick, and that's going to get in the way of his leg articulation when it comes to bending that leg backwards. But still, you can get Sagat into a splits going forward. So right there, that really isn't a problem. And of course, you're obviously going to get him in a splits that's going to go wide all the way across. Like so. And looking at those joints, these are not small little ball pegs in there. Those are some very big joints inside the legs. Which is good to know, because they definitely do not want these legs breaking on you. Safe to say that this is a pretty solid size. At least if you want to pose them sitting down, sitting forward, you can. Underneath Sagat's shorts, he does have a thigh cut, and the thigh cut is hidden under there, right there. You can twist this, both legs, all the way around, and this is probably great for a lot of people who do not like to see ugly thigh cuts, because it's hidden underneath the shorts, and therefore it's not going to be noticeable, and only goes even longer for photography, figure photography. And let's bend the knees. Alright, so the knees, you are getting a very great knee, bending far better than 90 degrees. Far better. Like pushing that 45, 35. Which is necessary for Sagat because he needs to do that tiger knee. Tiger knee. He's got tiger everything. Man, boy, I felt every single attack that he's done. Especially in Street Fighter V. Oh my gosh, let me tell you. Early Sagat. We're talking about every day. Every day is tiger knee. Tiger knee. Going forward. Tiger knee. All day, every day. And of course, we got the toe articulation, which is, to my knowledge, exclusive to Akuma and Sagat for the moment. You're bending your toes up that much, and you can bend them down. Look at those grippers. Let's see, let's focus, let's focus. Giving you a lot of feet time. Yeah, bend them down. Bend him down like he's gripping something. It's kind of hard to see. It seems like he's got enough grip to actually hold someone's forehead if he kicks you in the face. Interesting. I've seen toe hinges go up, but never really go down like that. Of course, lastly, you got the ankle going around here, and we have this effect of this solid piece. This is like a whole solid piece right here. You can just twist this to rotate the foot, and there's ankle pivot that you can do within the ankle joint right there. You can pivot. See right there. Which is incredibly useful for dynamic posing. Let's just move the other foot to break it in. Everything feels great. Nothing feels too stiff. And I really appreciate that with Jada toys. Just sometimes figures can be too stiff, and you gotta unstiffen the joints, and it's just a whole mess because you don't want to break this stuff because this stuff's not cheap, you know. And I appreciate that Jada figures are tight, but not too tight. Super firm, super dynamic, great articulation. So far, we are off to a great start. Great looks, great articulation. Now let's do some posing with him. There's a high tiger kick. The low tiger kick. Another tiger knee. I really don't know what this is. I've seen Sagat do this in Street Fighter 5 one time. It's like a V trigger or something. I don't know. I don't know what this is. Some type of tiger charge. Just something. Have you not subscribed, then click the like button. Subscribe! There's Sagat kind of defeated. You know, one thing I'm wishing Sagat had was a laughing head. Because usually when he defeats you, he hits this pose where he starts laughing at you. Actually more like this, with his head up, going, ha 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 ha. That high leg we like to see. The sideways look looks really nice. And again, showing that that abdomen crunch is helping a lot pulling off this pose. A little nitpick that I can point out is a little bit on this forearm right here. There's a little bit of the plastic that's still on here that probably needs to be trimmed down, at least shaven a little bit here. Just a tiny little nitpick right there. As you see, this one is more smoothed out and shaved over here. This one's kind of sticking out there. Yeah, ain't nothing but good times happening for Sagat. Scars are like a bad memory, right, Sagat? They healed, but it still fills you with pain. You remember that pain. Lastly, we have Tiger! 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 Seriously, whose good idea it was to make this guy's moveset mostly built on tigers? Just tiger knee, tiger, 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 tiger. Wait, I'm missing one actually. Hold on. Tiger uppercut. I think if Sagat actually figured out how to use that punch sideways, he'd be like Superman from Injustice 2. Just the most destructive move. Overall sculpt, articulation, aesthetic, accessories, everything of what you're getting, or about $35 to $40. 35 on a good day. I say this figure is pretty worth it. It's a great addition to the Street Fighter line. Of course, this Sagat figure is going to be a little more expensive than the other Street Fighters, but he is a bigger figure altogether, and I will show that in a minute. But for this figure, I'm going to give him not much really wrong there besides little nitpick areas. And I wish he had an extra head where he's laughing. I give Sagat a 9. I really don't have any issues with this figure. He looks good, he moves good, he has a good accessories. Everything about this Sagat is everything that I needed for this character as a figure. So yeah, give him a 9. Great job, Jada Toys. Another banger. Now we'll just end up with some figure comparisons. Again, here's Fat Majin Buu. Do you think Sagat can beat Majin Buu? I'm just curious. I don't know what it is with me with Majin Buu. I just want to see him fight things. Here we have another Jada Toys Street Fighter 2. Akuma. Actually, I'm going to stand them up so you can see a height comparison. Oh, right here's some of the toughest Street Fighters around, next to each other. And as you can see, Sagat is completely towering Akuma. And if I bring him in closer, you can see that the height difference is apparent and very visible. And this is as it should be, because Sagat is one of the tallest characters in the Street Fighter line. Goldo. And that's why you're useless, Goldo. Look at yourself, already fallen over. You got Jace. Then can you? Is almost tall enough to face Sagat, but not tall enough. We're getting there, though. Okay, I think Sagat has finally met his match. Rick Coom is actually about the same height as Sagat. To think I have Sagat on a slight lean, but still pretty much the same height. If not, Sagat looks just a tad taller. Maybe by a couple of millimeters. Just a tad taller than Raccoon. He's a pretty tall dude. Alright, this should definitely be a deciding factor.
Better. The fastest thing in the universe.
I can get him stand right here. A little bit here. Okay, yeah, Birder. Yeah, Birder is actually officially taller than Sagat. Right there you go. He's probably the only character that's taller than Sagat at this point. That and probably Thanos. Birder's a pretty tall dude. Sagat's really tall. Again, just by another few millimeters. Birder is taller. Here we are, shrinking back down with evil Demon King Piccolo for the Dragon Ball series. Goku was a kid. OG Piccolo. I must say, I think these two share quite the similarities. Both kind of had a shaky past. Both were totally evil. And then they got their butt kicked by someone younger than them. And both gave them, how you say, a gut check. If you know what I mean. They both got a gut check. And then they came back as a bad guy again. But then realized that, maybe it's not cracked up to be. And both of them turned kind of good. You could say both kind of went through it. Went through similar archetypes. Okay, lastly, let's wrap up with Marvel Venom. I have to say, Venom does come close, but not quite. He's just a tad shorter than Akuma. I said Akuma. He's a tad shorter than Sagat, but I think that may due to the way that his body is built. Because if Venom put up his neck, can't really do that because it's like only on one joint. Made him just a little bit higher. If I have him look up, he's gonna be taller. Yeah, if he looks up, he's gonna be taller, but pretty much averaging about the same size. If not, Sagat is still taller than Venom. Pretty impressive considering Sagat is just a human. A super tall human with fire fist powers. Now can Sagat actually win this fight? Venom versus Sagat? Who do he actually win? This symbiote alien. That's an interesting battle, but it probably won't happen unless, if this video gets 100 likes, we can see a fight between Sagat versus Venom. And maybe I might do a poll and let you guys choose who actually would win. But yeah, 100 likes if you want to see these two fight. And there we have it. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more figure reviews like this one here. Do you think this Sagat is a great figure? Tell me in the comments below. With that, I bid you all adieu. Take care, everyone. See you later. I don't know, I think Venom would just catch... He would just catch this fireball. Put him right there. Actually, wait a minute. What happened? Akuma, what did you do? What did you do to Goldo? Akuma, what did you do to Goldo? Just look at that evil smirk. Once a villain, always a villain.